Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Have we figured out how to explain deja vu? How do chameleons do that thing they do? Do you really need to wash your blue jeans? Yeah, you do, but how often? Hey, my name's Mike Simpson. I've got a podcast about curiosities. It's called I've Got Questions. We go through my list of random stuff and yours. Please participate. Send me your questions. I'll find someone to answer them. We've talked about our true crime obsession, how grocery stores are tricking us, super secret flight attendant stuff. I've Got Questions. New episodes Thursdays on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Well, sometimes those New Yorkers, man. Sometimes those New Yorkers, sorry, but very stereotypical. A New Yorker named Anthony. Hey, how you doing, Anthony?
Tony.
Yeah. Tony's been accused of collecting disability benefits while simultaneously becoming a bodybuilder and having his own limousine business.
Well, I mean, the limousine, I guess if, I don't know what kind of disability it was, like a jacked up back. They could be like, hey, you shouldn't be riding around in a limo.
He wasn't even doing this on the DL, Steve. That's the thing. He wasn't even trying to hide. He was caught because he was featured on the Instagram account of his wife, Loli, who was also an International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness Pro.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're collecting disability, you don't want to be like, on the some swole website. Yeah, just all jacked up.
I mean, one headline says, New York man charged with disability fraud after showing up jacked on pro bodybuilder wife's Instagram.
She even tagged his limo business and shots of him in some of her posts. And in one from 2019, she describes him as her partner in crime.
That's awesome. Literally.
So, of course, prosecutors said, Anthony, back in 2013, he filed for disability. He said he fell while working as an electrician. He said he had severe injuries that made it difficult for him to put on shoes, to walk for 15 minutes, or even sit for a half hour at a time. So here you are in a limo business, right? You're driving the limo. I don't think that's working. Like, first of all, you got to put on shoes. Second of all, you got to sit for longer than 15 minutes.
Those are always the videos that I get a good chuckle out of when, like, someone's like, their job is to catch these liars with the disability things, like to catch them in the act of doing something wrong. You ever seen like videos of a guy dancing with like his family at a party in a backyard, and someone has like surveillance footage of it, and then he gets busted because he said he hurt himself on the job and couldn't, like, his back was out. But they're like, but you have no problem doing the lambada.
Yeah.
It's like,
lambada.
I don't know why lambada was the first dance I could think of, Rev. Is that the forbidden dance?
It is the forbidden dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't do that with a bad back.
No, you cannot.
Especially if you're trying to cheat the government and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very forbidden.
Right.
I hope his limo business does well then.
Well, he's facing felony charges.
Oops.
Grand larceny. Don't know exactly what that's going to get him. But, if he's still going to have a limo business.
Vicky found the picture of the wife posting him looking all jacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's protecting his back. He's wearing his belt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why he's wearing the belt. It's because his back is hurting him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't sitting. He's not sitting. Is he sitting there? I don't think he is.
He's not sitting there, and in the picture, he's not trying to put on his shoes.
Yeah, so I think so far. Pay that man his money.
Meanwhile, props to him for his wife's booty shorts. Those are pretty fantastic. I don't know how much working out I would get done in the home gym if the wife's wearing those all the time.
Well, it's a good thing that Steve's not the judge in this case. Whoa, that's another picture of her?
Yep.
Oh, it's a good thing you're not a judge either.
Yeah.
Or you would have been able to finish that sentence.
I'm not usually a fan of bodybuilders, as far as women bodybuilders. They just don't do much for me, but that girl looks pretty good.
Death by snoo.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, that's...
booty popping everywhere.
I got news for you that this case would be thrown out of court if Steve and I were the judges.
And Judge BJ will not be able to leave the seat for a little while. Like, hey, court is adjourned. Are you going to leave? No.
Yeah, it's really weird because it's a combination of masculine and feminine to me. Because, a lot of muscles I just attribute to a masculine body, just a lot of muscles. So it's weird to see the 6-pack abs and massive muscles, but then also to see the hourglass and the breast and the butt. And my brain doesn't know what to do here. My brain's having a hard time just processing all this. Throw this case out of court. Oh, yeah, like that one, Vicky. Vicky, turn that thing around. I'm done. You're distracting me.
I don't think we could turn her around in the picture.
No.
Oh, Vicky's... No, okay, sorry,
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, because pretty much she's...
Turn my
you're right,
screen around.
Steve.
Here's my with the body. I see a lot of people post the bodybuilding competitions. The things that always kind of makes me I have a few buddies that do it, and it's like that super tan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that's supposedly accentuates the muscle, but that just makes me feel uncomfortable for them. I hope they get their skin checked from the doctor. I'm just that just seems not very safe. I think a lot of it's bronzer.
It's spray tan.
Okay, yeah.
My old roommate used to do these kind of competitions, and she would have to get that really dark spray tan beforehand and then try to scrub it off the next day. And it was rough on her skin just to scrub it off.
Because I see some of my buddies, I'm like, man, you don't look very healthy in this picture, with how bronzed up they are. And then you see them in a picture a couple days later, and you're like, well, whatever vitamins you just took, you look a lot better. And then I realize, it's because they just... But I don't understand why that's... I feel like that seems do we need that in bodybuilding competitions? The super bronze tan?
Yeah, I don't know I don't know what that's about.
It reminds me of beef jerky.
They look leathery.
Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, it's the beef jerky look. Okay.
That's why I get so hungry when I see my friends in those pictures.
That's probably what it is.
Interesting. Snap into it.
I don't know. Is it because it's the beach? You feel like you're at the beach, Muscle Beach? Is that what it is?
It says spray tans help them look even leaner because the idea is to be muscly but also look really lean. Because my old roommate, she would have these crazy arm muscles, but her waist was and her stomach was just super lean.
That makes sense because sometimes I feel like they look a little bit not sickly, but just weird, jacked but skinny.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Okay, so really, the darker you are, the leaner you look. Oh, that's the same person.
Us a picture, and there is a noticeable difference.
Well, isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. Well, all right. I guess look, darker clothes actually do make us look thinner. So I guess darker skin would do the same thing.
So it says it shows off the contours of the muscle. Yeah, I hear if we all bronze, we'll all of a sudden have muscles. We should do it.
And funny enough, I hear during the competitions, they're actually at their weakest point. They can't really lift anything. If you're actually going to fight them, you're probably going to beat them just because they're so dehydrated, so weak. It's insane what they go through.
Yeah,
just to look that way, so they don't really feel as great as they look.
Yeah, but but the cool thing was I was told that the next day they could eat whatever the hell they want. So they would eat burgers and sheet cake all at night, just all the food they want, they would eat, and it was fantastic.
That's pretty much what I do now.
Yeah, I don't have to. I don't bodybuild.
But then you don't have a trophy with it.
I could get myself a trophy online.
Yeah, you can buy a trophy for pretty cheap.
I don't need to do any of this spray tanning.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So it says you ever use that spray tan stuff and forget to wash the hell out of your hands afterwards. Talk about some crazy hand stuff going on your hands and face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm done with that.
No,
not that I was ever going to do it. But.
What do we look like if we all spray tanned?
Well, do you remember BJ spray tanning for one of our shows?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because our old intern Annabelle was really good at the spray tanning. Yeah, so she always. She always
for herself.
Yeah,
I was going to
say. So she was my expert that I went to when I was playing this character on TV that had basically was super tanned, and of course I am super not tanned. So we had to figure that out. spray tan was the way to go, and it was so weird.
I try to make mine look realistic, and I have people like spray burn me, so they just kind of use like a reddish.
Oh yeah. Right, yeah.
Well, with the sun we've been getting this year, you could just go stand outside for 5 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Steve, I don't know how you feel about this. Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, they've been hanging out. People say they, ever since she split with A-Rod.
I wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah, because they're exes and they're back together again. And if we're to believe this to be true,
and they were like exes for like over a decade. Like this relationship was done 13 or something years ago.
Yeah,
they got back together quick.
Sometimes you got to sow your oats. I'm not sure if it was her or, if you believe any of the stories about Ben, it's like we don't know when he would really be ready to settle down with anybody because that guy seemed to like to go out and have fun.
Maybe he's just been waiting for that opportunity for Jada. He figured out, it's a celebrity marriage or a relationship. It's bound to end eventually. So he was just waiting for that moment. Just took a little longer than he thought.
And how about 44% of Americans say they have actually gone back to an ex before?
Like back to a relationship or like a hookup,
Well, see, I wish they would define that, Steve, because to me, a hookup is not a relationship.
Right. Like, I feel like a lot of people might have had one more fling with someone after they broke up. Yeah. For me, it's like once it's done, it's done. Like I wouldn't even think of unless it was one of those breakups where you knew that you were going to eventually get back. Like it was we're mad at each other. Once cooler heads prevail, you get back together. Back when you were younger and dumber, and you break up on a moment's notice and then get back together. But when it's over, I'm like, well, why do I want to even revisit that? Like it ended for a reason.
Yeah, I feel like if you called that person your boyfriend or girlfriend, that means, they're your ex when you ended it. As opposed to, like you said, a hookup is, to me, it's like, well, they're not really an ex because they never really were a thing in the first place, but just a little casual situation. But more than half the people say they've done it twice. Of the 44%, they go, oh, yeah, I've gone back to my ex multiple times. What?
Yeah, I spent some time on Facebook. Some of my friends where it's like, I don't even know what situation they're in and what they're not in anymore. Like, in 1 minute, they're no longer together and they're posting all these vague tweets or Facebook posts that are clearly taking shots at the other person. And then 2 weeks later, we're back together and everything's great.
Yeah.
Let me know when it's official.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised it's that many. I thought I was the only idiot because I did it twice. I went back to my wife twice. After, she dumped me, I think, twice. And I was like, all right, well. But then the third time, I was like, you know what? I'm dumping you. Either we're getting married or you're done.
And you got married. Good job.
Yeah, that was the successful proposal that I had. We're getting married or you're done.
It's like, I can't get rid of this guy. I'll just move to another state, but not dump him.
Yeah, see that? Well, you know what? It took her a long time to come up with that idea. All right? She had to live with me a long time before that happened, Steve. So I kind of won. So here's a question for you. Why would a teen build an underground cave in his backyard? Oh, I'll tell you why. At 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load, terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
That's the ease at which you get information. You're always connected and informed. So if you're diabetic and still using old technology and finger pricks, what are you waiting for? US Med carries the highest quality continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. Call 1-888-US-MED-17 today. That's 1-888-US-MED-17 today. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
Hey, what's up, everyone? You find yourselves trying to get your Craig Mack on and put some brand new flavor in your ear? Well, funny you should mention that because we have a brand new show that you should check out. It is called Pod Sauce. It is your podcast discovery show.
Everyone's always looking for a podcast recommendation. We got lots of them for you, from true crime to pop culture. And you can join us each week as we dish on all of our favorite podcasts out there. So make sure you download the Odyssey app and search Pod Sauce or head on over to podsauce.com.
We got you covered, guys.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. There's a 14-year-old kid in Spain got into a fight with his parents, like you'll do when you're a 14-year-old kid. And I mean, it was the kind of fight where it's like, I got to get away from these people. So what he decided to do is he went into the backyard and started digging an underground cave to hang out in.
It's pretty aggressive way to handle things.
Yeah, the initial fight happened in 2015, so he's 20 now, and he still kept working on it, and he just shared pictures of this cave online, 6 years of work on the underground cave based on this 2015 fight.
Does parents never go in the backyard, or are they like me, that's completely oblivious to what's going on unless I actually do step out there? Wouldn't you notice a giant hole in the ground and be like, why is there a giant hole in the ground in our backyard? Unless their backyard's so big, they don't know that.
Well, they've been pretty supportive about it, so they were aware that this was happening. Yeah, you're right. If you don't know that someone's building a giant cave, because this is a cave, I mean, dude, this is nuts. It's got a living room, bedroom, heating system, music system, and Wi-Fi all in his underground cave.
Yeah, I mean, this would go for about $2 million to purchase here in Seattle.
That's a fact.
Truth.
Now, he started with a pickaxe. It was just a hole at first, and you can see these pictures on the BJ and Migs page of KISW.com. It's nuts. Then he found somebody that had better tools, so he made it 10 feet deep, added the multiple rooms. He put up concrete to reinforce the walls so it wouldn't collapse. But get this, he has spent a grand total of $60 on this entire 6-year project.
Well, I'm looking at it. I mean, that's impressive, but it does show it doesn't look like very, it's not like a cool looking area. It's just, I'd be really creeped out if someone said, hey, you want to come into my cave? And you start walking in, it's like, it looks like something that's made out of nightmares.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't look like a 5-star hotel.
But still impressive that he pulled this off for $60.
So you might not see this on HGTV then.
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to renovate it. Yeah.
Right?
I'd be afraid that the thing would come crumbling down on me. Like, how much does he know about, like, structure and foundation? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like that's a massive risk if this just all of a sudden just, like, cracks down and all of a sudden you're stuck in there.
Yeah, and somehow, so far that hasn't happened. Now, he does say it floods sometimes, and there are a lot of bugs down there.
Oh, that sounds like a fun place to stay.
No,
how much do you hate your parents that seems like a better, that's a better alternative.
Exactly. Steve, you hit it on the head. This, and even though the parents have been supported, his mom did slip in one judgmental comment. When she climbed down to see it in person for the first time, she told him that it was smaller than she expected.
Oh.
Rude.
Yeah. Honestly,
I'd rather hear that from my mom than my girlfriend. At the end of the day, things could be worse.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he was getting along with mom so well. And I mean, really, your kid's digging a cave to get away from you, and you go, it's a lot smaller than I expected. What the hell's wrong with you? It's like he did it for $60. Are you kidding me? He's got a living room. Please.
I mean, props to him. I remember when I was a kid, like we were trying to create like our own little living area, but it was made out of like a box, and it was awesome until it rained, and then it was gone.
Yeah. Well, that's about as much effort you're not going to put 6 years into this project, Steve. You go, here's the box, we'll try it. Oh, there's the rain, I'm done.
I wanted a tree house so bad, but we didn't have any trees in our backyard, so we couldn't do any of that. But
so you got a box house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, it was the same. I wanted a tree house so bad, and so I asked my grandpa if he'd help me build one. Mm-hmm. He made me a birdhouse because he was like, it's a house that goes in the tree for.
Oh, jeez.
He's like, yeah, no problem. He probably was like, yeah, this will be easy. You're like, really?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I need to be shrunk in order to go in it.
Yeah.
I think you think he was trolling you? I think he was.
I was so sad when he gave it to me, and I was like trying to feign enthusiasm of like, oh, this is great.
Do you remember him being like, hey, Danny, I finished your treehouse?
Oh, yeah.
And you probably were like, F yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Awesome.
And no, it was a
He totally trolled you, yeah.
He did.
You're right, BJ.
And you still had to act like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, granted, I don't know. I mean, if it was a joke, he never let in on it. He never said like, "Oh no, I was trolling you." But there it is.
Is the birdhouse still up?
In Chalma it is. Where northern New Mexico. Like it was never at my house. It was up north, so it's still up there somewhere.
That's the longest troll that he's not admitting to if he was trolling you.
Yeah, right.
Because at some point I think I'd have to go, okay, you're now, 10, 15 years older. Let me tell you what I. But he's never. Then do you think in his brain he thought is it possible he thought that's what you wanted? I want to think he's trolling, but maybe Maybe he was.
He liked to play pranks, so I don't know.
I think about my grandfather. He was always like, "I'll make it myself," kind of guy. So I'm like, "Grandpa, I want a basketball hoop," and he was like, "That was like my big thing." He's got like a piece of wood that he found in some scrap place, got some like metal and bent it, and then attached it with the hoop, and then hooked actually went to the store and shelled out like the $6 or $5 for the basketball netting, wired that onto it, and bolted it on the back of the back of our house onto a part where he could bolt it on. He goes, "Here's your basketball hoop," and I'm like, "Thanks." Like but it worked. So I was like, "All right, I'll make it." I'm sure my neighbors thought, what is happening to Steve? Like, what kind of weird setup is this kid think this is a basketball hoop? But I used it for years.
Yeah. Damn. And it was on the side of your house, right?
It was like on the side, we had when you walked out of our back, the back door, there was like a drop down, you had to go down some stairs to get to the bottom floor. So it was kind of attached to the patio of the backyard.
Oh, okay.
Like a gate.
I wonder how that sounded, you banging it on the side of the house like that all the time.
Oh, I'm sure my dad hated it.
Yeah. And then you said your grandfather did that? On whose side?
My mom's side. Yeah.
There we go. Mm-hmm. You know what? That's what I expected. Yeah. Your father probably is like, lovely. Thank you, Roseanne, for this one again. This is a wonderful time.
But it couldn't be. He just bolted it onto the gate thing, so it wasn't regulation. It was shorter than that. So I got to slam dunk a lot, which was pretty sweet.
Nice.
But man, Vicky, I was just saying, there's television shows about extreme tree houses. I don't know if you pulled. I saw you.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
I was looking at the ones here in Washington. There's a lot of rentals that you can take and go into the woods that I really want to go to.
Dude, it's insane. Some of these tree houses. I always thought of it when I was a kid. It was just barely anything. It was just enough to support it on a tree, and you could stand and sit in it with your friend or two. Yeah. Some of these are just full on apartments.
So really, then this kid's got to start a show called Extreme Caves.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, come on, if they can do that with tree houses, because that tree house show's insane.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I think I watched that show one time, and I was like, come on. That has to just qualify as a house.
Right. I mean, full electricity, a bathroom. Some even have a little kitchen in them.
Lights, electricity.
Right. Yeah. It's like, look, if you could actually go, I would live there, then, full time, then is it really a tree house?
Imagine being a kid, though, and you had that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on. What are you talking about, Steve? I can get a sweet cave at $60.
That's true. But I think if you're a kid and I don't know, me personally, if I was able to pull that off and had the money and the space to pull off a sick tree house like that, and Tatum's like, awesome. I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to run it by me when you want to use it, because Dad's going to be in there a lot.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem.
That's
ever agree. Yeah.
That's like a man cave right there.
That is.
Oh, yeah.
Man house.
Yeah.
Man house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. She's going to compete with you for that.
So are you going to build her one, Steve, eventually?
Well, we don't really have not much of a tree in the background.
Plant the tree first, and then
I'll get her an inflatable fake tree house.
Oh, cool.
That way.
Build her a cave, Steve. That you can do that.
So the Treehouse Masters guy's from Washington. Oh, maybe he listens and he can build us a treehouse, BJ.
Oh,
a studio.
Sure.
And that's where we do our show.
Oh, a tree studio.
The BJ and Migs Treehouse.
Yes. Broadcasting live from a tree.
At BJ's house.
Yeah, do you have a spare tree that we can use?
I'm unfortunately, no, I really don't want you anywhere near my house. I mean, and I don't have a spare tree. Whichever comes first.
My parents just bought a new house, and half of it is just foresty trees.
Oh, there we go.
We got it. We just got to go up north.
How far are we going? Are we going way far up north?
Arlington.
Okay, then. You know what? These ideas are not getting good. They're as good as the T-shirt idea at this point.
So at the Treehouse Show on Discovery, I work in fire protection. We had the contract for the Treehouse guy's property, and all of his tree houses, the tree homes or tree houses, have fire alarm systems installed in them. It's pretty sweet.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would think that's what you need. I mean, because trees can, your house is right there, right on top of the thing that can get, catch on fire. So that's a good idea.
If we build the treehouse high enough, then we could just have a painter come out and paint the turtle logo on the side of the treehouse, and that's our billboard.
Boom. Ride the turtles.
We figured it out.
Ride the turtle.
T-shirts available in the Rock Shop at KSW.com.
That's fantastic.
I know.
On Friday, Steve did get this one right.
Billy Joel gave a lengthy list of 20th century events in which song?
We didn't tell Steve to F off as a kid.
No.
We didn't start the fire.
Yes.
Good song.
Oh, yeah. Nice job, buddy. You want a shot at beating Steve? All right. Here it is, 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs at 8:49 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's a question from a listener. My house is currently in foreclosure. I've stopped making payments. What can I do to save my house?
If you're already in foreclosure behind on your mortgage, you can stop the foreclosure by filing a bankruptcy. There's different types of bankruptcy. Chapter 13 can help you catch up on your house payments if you're behind. It would mean that you'd have to start making your house payments again and catch up on the amount that you're behind over 5 years. You could also take off or strip off your second mortgage, which would help you to reduce your housing payment every month, especially once you're done with the plan and done catching up on your first mortgage. We could also try to buy you some time by filing a Chapter 13 case. Filing a Chapter 13 would definitely stop your foreclosure.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. And thanks for listening.